What is going on, friends? I am taking a break. I'm working on my Bronco here because I have other things to do, such as life. Actually, the TJ that was sitting over here, I think I'm gonna sell it today. So I'm gonna meet somebody to go take a look at it, test drive. I got it all legalized, got it all safety. So just a quick update on that as well. But I would like to talk about something that's always been kind of near and dear to my heart, which is the Makto, specifically from Red Wing. So let's talk about that. Old things are definitely a passion of mine, and I can only hope and wish that I can keep all old things, but I can't, such as Broncos. Broncos I have to build, I have to spend a little bit of money building them, and then I'll have them. But don't you wish I have a lot of money so I can keep a lot of old things? Well, speaking of expensive things that we make old, shoes or boots, in my case, is one of them, right? But before I do that, this was gifted to me, Mark Twain cigar. Um, oh, it smells good and it tastes good. I've smoked it obviously before. I still have like maybe 3/4 of a box left. Back to old things before I light this thing up. This is a 1907. You've seen me make videos of this before. This is my daily Makto. I use it down here in the garage, in the yard. It gets wet, oil, whatever have you, scratched up. That's why it looks like that. But I would not trade that for anything. And besides, I can't probably sell it because one, it's probably really cheap if I sell it, or it's priceless, right? Because it tells a story of my work down here. So can you imagine me keeping that all the way till my 80s, and then passing it on, as nasty as that sounds, passing it on to my kids, not to use, but to remember me by. Anyway, one of those things. So the Red Wing 875 and its cousin, the 8-inch one, 875, is unmistakably Makto, unmistakably Red Wing heritage. In fact, it is probably, in my opinion anyways, is the measure by which all Maktos are, the standards by which all Maktos are based on. Um, Again, can be argued, but as far as I know, Red Wing, in the US anyways, have been making shoes or boots since the early 1900s. And in fact, they've continued some of that process all the way until the 20th century. So most of these are built exactly the same, maybe different people, different machinery, different techniques and styles, but somewhat similar. You know what I mean? The design is similar. Oh, that's good. Probably another weakness I have. Delicious cigars. This is my Red Wing Heritage Makto 875 6-inch model. I've always wanted to have I've always wanted to have Maktos for the longest time. You gotta remember, I didn't discover heritage style first of all. So I've all been around for a little while, but I just started talking about it on videos. But I didn't really kind of got into heritage style until later in my life. So before that, I was confused with a lot of things. I've always wanted about a Makto. I've always wanted to have a Makto from Red Wings, but I just couldn't get myself to spend that much amount of money. When I got to Japan, though, and saw a lot of Japanese men that are into heritage clothing go all into it and buying these expensive shoes or boots, I figure I'm like, what the hell, right? I should save up and buy my Maktos. And I think the very first one I bought was a 1907. And then after that, I bought the 875 and then the 8138. Aside from the Iron Ranger, of course, I bought that also along the ways. Look, I've made videos of the 875 before. It's kind of like a review kind of video, but I wanted to do it again because I continue to use it, and lately I made a video of the 777 from Ironheart, and I was wearing the Red Wing for most of the time when I was wearing the 777. I think it's a complete combination of heritage to wear, but the 875 did really well during my travel, that I wanted to kind of mention it again, talk a little bit about why that is. Why is it durable? Why is it stylistically attractive? What color palettes do they use to make it attractive like that? It is recognizable because when I was out there, a quick story, one time I was, having lunch in Maine, and this female, a lot younger than me, looks down and says, "Hey, is that a Red Wing Macto?" And of course I said, "Of course it is, thanks for noticing." And she's like, "I've always wanted one of those." But she said you just couldn't find the right size. But that's her story, right? So the first thing you'll notice about the 875, it's not the rough and tough leather, right? So check this out, right? Red Wing uses a proprietary blend of unique oils to maintain this look without any added color, right? This is the pigmentation has been maintained. That's a secret to Red Wing, of course. And I've seen other shoe company trying to imitate this color, but it comes out too red, or it comes out too light, and eventually changes color. But for some reason, this, if you use the right cream, will maintain its color. And Oral Legacy definitely did the right thing with this, because this is absolutely what I think of Mactos from Red Wing. So what makes Mactos from Red Wing durable, stylish, and comfortable? Maybe the later, it depends on the break-in period, right? But many complain that the initial wearing in or breaking in period of Mactos from Red Wing, especially the Iron Ranger, which is not a Macto, it's on its own, is hard. It's tough, right? I'm kind of hit or miss with a breaking in period, breaking in with boots from Red Wing, because the Iron Ranger gave me so much of a hard time, but this Macto right here did not. So, like I said, on and off. But I know it's comfortable because I've taken it on many trips. I've worn it many times, and like I said, lately I've taken it on a trip in which my whole flight from point A to point B lasted about 15 hours. I'm not saying that 100% it's like a tennis shoes, that's very comfortable. At some point, I've had some pressure points on my foot based on that long ride. I think it's common for having leather boots with laces because, it does create pressure points. If you compare that to something like boots, like cowboy boots without laces, that would feel a lot better. You're not going to have those pressure points unless it's too tight, too loose, or anything like that. So my solution to dealing with those pressure points while I'm on the airplane is taking off my boots on the airplane. I usually wear really thick socks, mind you, of course, freshly cleaned socks so it doesn't smell on the airplane. But I usually take it off because my feet swells up in the air. I think commonly it does that, right? But so I take off my boots and then just kind of relax for a little while during the flight. So what is this 300 odd something dollar boots really made of? Well, first of all, before I go any further, it's a pair of boots that's still made in the USA. There may be imitations out there, but Red Wing is still made in the USA, still made by Americans, and the process has rarely changed from the 1950s when they started making the Mactos. I mean, you can't go not saying that's heritage right there. American boots made in the USA. has been made there since the 1950s. That is heritage right there. Now, I know there are other boots made in the USA, but I'm really leaning towards Red Wing mock toes as that heritage of mock toes in the USA. It's quality, right? I don't think they're gonna charge that much amount of money if it's not quality. So first of all, the leather is oil grain leather. They don't fall short in the leather. It's also made. Um, there's a term they use, last 23, meaning last 23 number. It was made by in the factory since the 1950s, and it is one of the original Maktos that's made by Red Wing. That's what last 23 means. That's heritage, right? It also includes extra room in the forefoot area, the instep area, so it can fit many shapes and sizes. You can buy Red Wing boots in many sizes. Uh, I've heard though, and some of my viewers have complained that they don't make it wide enough for really wide feet. Uh, Remember that I wear a size 11 and a half medium in all of my boots, so I don't have any. I think that's the average, maybe the average size foot, right? So I don't have any issues buying Red Wing boots. But if you do, my recommendation is call the dealership, the Red Wing dealership. Go to the store and try it on, and talk to the professionals in the store to give you the right recommendation in purchasing such an expensive pair of boots. Now, expensive for me, I don't make that much money. I have to save up for a $300 pair of boots. Some may just go buy their boots with no issues, but again, my opinion, right? So what are the other important features of the Red Wing 875 aside from its appearance? Well, I could tell you that its triple stitching is always going to be here. It's Goodyear welted, meaning you can change this outsole right here, the traction outsole, Goodyear welted there, so that you can do that. Great oil grain leather, pretty thick. I think the last time is like it's 2 millimeter or something like that, 2 to 4 millimeter. Yeah. There was a bee in my ear. Nickel eyelets. I did not change the laces of this one, so that's original to that. Triple stitching, I already mentioned that, I believe. And of course, extra room here and the instep. Never had any slippage with the Red Wing boots on the heel, so that's very good. I love it. Inside, the insoles are made of leather as well, and I believe there's maybe cork inside there. Eventually, kind of forms to your foot, so very comfortable. I've also had a few questions about sizing of the Red Wing, and in my experience and my own opinion, when I wear running shoes, I wear a size 12 on Nikes, size 12 on Asics, Brooks, Adidas, size 12 on my running shoes, and I ordered an 11 and a half medium on Red Wing boots, and it fits me perfect. Very comfortable, very nice fit. Now, I've also discovered that some Red Wing boots are also made, the sizes, the half size are really close. And I think I have one that's size 11 and that fits me well as well. So I was just wondering if you can go a full size down. But I would recommend though, like I said, based on my experience and opinion, to go half a size down from your running shoes if that's what you wear. Um, Also, buy it from a reputable dealership or the stores so that you can return it. Or better yet, if you have a store near you, go and visit them. Go try out, talk to the professionals over there and see what kind of shoes fit you right, the right time of the day. Also, what kind of care and maintenance you should do to keep its appearance, right? But I think that's pretty much all I want to cover on the 875s. But recently, like I said, on my trip, it did really well. I love it. If I have to buy one pair of boots, one pair of mock toes, excuse me, I would probably get the 875, right? But the thing is that I use this down here, it gets oily, it gets wet, and the only reason I say that is because for me, the 1907 is tried and true to be a working pair of boots. Now, if you don't mind getting the 875 dirty really quick, then go get the 875, right? If you wear out the soles, then we can replace it. That's easy. We can replace it. You can send it in to get it replaced. But I think the upper leather will last a long time. Anyway, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the video of the 875 from Red Wing Mock Toe 6-inch heritage boots. And until next time, aloha.